Hi, it's me, Chio. Welcome. If you're new here, I'm Chio Zoe, the fantasy author of Memory of Stone series, with book 1 and 2 currently available. I'm also a writer mentor and an author tuber. Today, I want to be talking to you about critique partners. A critique partner is someone, preferably an author, possibly an editor, who provides well-informed feedback on your work, usually in exchange for your own feedback on their work. It's helpful when the critique partner is at the same skill level as you are. That is, if you've written 2 books, they should have also written 2 or 3 books. If you've written 10 books, they should have also written within that range. If you've published before, they should have published, like if you published 1 book, they should have at least published 1 book or be in the process of being close to publishing. Things like that, so you know that you are at similar levels in your journeys, therefore both of you have something to give each other. And while it is not necessary, it is extra helpful when they write in the same genre as you do or the same age category. That is, they are writing for children, you're writing for children, they're writing for adults, you're writing for adults. Therefore, you know you have similar knowledge of what you're writing. With the basic understanding of what a critique partner is, why do you need one in the first place? My first reason is someone who offers you well thought out advice. I love giving my siblings or cousins to read my books, and they give me their perspective, their insight on my story, and it is useful, it is really meaningful, and I get a lot of feedback. I know things to change from what they say. I also love my beta readers because they are honest with me and they give me very insightful things that I didn't think about when I'm writing. But there's just something else about a critique partner because they are in the same field as you are. They know the back door to the writing process. So when they offer you advice, you know for sure it's from a well thought out process because they understand why this thing should have happened at page 25 and not page 5 of your work. Things like that. Critique partners offer you those well thought out advice that you really can't get from anybody else, not even yourself. The second reason is someone to share the journey with. As I said earlier, a critique partner is best when they are on a similar skill level as you are, and with that, they will be someone who you can easily share the journey with. You're both submitting to publishers. You both know the struggle of submitting to publishers. You're both waiting together, so you have like somebody who is there to support you or who just understands what you're going through, so that when the time for waiting, you don't feel that much pressure because you're going through with somebody. If you get a rejection and they get a rejection too, you can lean on each other. If one of you gets through while the other person gets a rejection, you both understand the joy and struggle of it, so you can offer the other person support while they can celebrate your success with you. Just things like that. Someone who goes through the journey with you is very useful for any endeavor, honestly. Just having someone who understands what you're going through and can share that with you is really important. The third reason is someone who can motivate you. And it's one thing to go on the journey, but sometimes you need a cheerleader, someone in your corner saying you got this. And you just know that when they're saying you got this, you really got it because they know the details. They will know if you're failing at it. If you're failing at it, they can tell you, do this instead. If you're getting tired of writing, they can say, I've written 5,000 words in the last week. You should write 5,000 words too. Something like that. Just any level of motivation, the type of motivation you need, because they understand the process. They can have the right words to get you writing, to get you editing, to get you querying agents, querying publishing houses, to get you into the publishing process. Just all the steps of writing and publishing, they can motivate you to get it done. My next reason is you need someone who is truthful with you. When you present your work to them to critique, you don't want someone who will just tell you, oh, your writing is good and leave it as that. You need someone who will be honest with you, who will tell you, well, this sucks, or I don't understand your character, or why is your character doing this, or why is this scene like this, or it's too slow, etc. There's so many things that you might miss that they'll be truthful with you about, and you are more sure that they'll be truthful with you because you'll be critiquing their work too, and they need their work to be the best version of itself. So they also want your honest feedback. So that guarantee that you're getting honest feedback to make your work better will help you tell the other person, will help you be honest with the other person, and just know that being truthful is like one of the key relationships of a good critique partner. And when they're truthful with you, your work can only get better. Then the last point is someone who's an insightful editor. And like I said, your critique partner can be an author and an editor. And a usual skill set experience authors have is that they are good at editing to some degree. Now, this isn't someone who you're paying to edit, like go through everything and change every misspelling in your work. But critique partners don't only give feedback, they also suggest corrections to your work. And for them to understand the language you're writing in and understand why it's published in certain ways, why some terms are made shorter, the difference between passive and active voice, etc., can really help to boost the editing process. Now, if you're giving your work to a reader, they can tell you this sentence feels slow, this paragraph, this chapter feels boring, but they might not really be able to pinpoint why it feels boring. A critique partner, because of their writers, their editors, they know the reason it feels boring. They know if it feels boring because you're doing a lot of telling and not showing, using passive voice instead of active voice, if you're adding unnecessary scenes that slow down the pacing of your story, things like that. So having a critique partner, whether an author or editor, is useful. That being said, critique partners are free. They are built on establishing writer-author relationships. The only exchange you're getting from a critique partner is if they are reviewing your work, you are reviewing their work too. Most critique partners, a proper critique partner, I think, you become an author friend, because you don't want just someone that would be like a robot and sending you emails. You don't, this invisible person that sends you emails once a week or once a month telling you what's good and what's bad. You want someone who you can properly communicate with and share things with. So that bond, that relationship you build with the person is free because you're both benefiting from it, but you're not demanding financial or promotion, anything from them. You're just, because you care about their work and they care about your work, your work, and you care about each other, it's easy to just give to each other. You want a critique partner who at the end of the day is your friend, even if you're not like your best friend in the world, someone who is at least an author friend. Now, if you're still wondering if a critique partner is right for you, I like to say that a critique partner is useful for any stage of the writing process, whether you're still in the early stages of writing or ready to publish. A critique partner is useful just from the large scale, the big picture editing, to the smaller detail editing, to writing a blurb, synopsis, or a query letter for publishers. All of these parts, a critique partner can help you through that. So any stage you are in your writing, there is a critique partner for that. And also, whether you're traditionally publishing or self-publishing, a critique partner is useful because, again, I said it's free. They do not take the place of an editor. An editor is a different thing. An editor combs through your work with precision and fixes the mistakes, not just tells you what the mistakes are. So an editor is a different thing, and if you're traditional publishing, the traditional publisher will provide an editor for you. But a critique partner is a stage before that, even the stage of the writing and presenting your work to the publisher to take it in the first place. A critique partner is useful. Then as a self-publisher, a critique partner is useful for all those steps too, because the preliminary works and the drafts of the final works, like the synopsis and the rest, like those contents, a critique partner will help you through that. So whether you're self-publishing or traditional publishing, you can use a critique partner. Now, I hope I've been able to convince you to look for a critique partner, but there is still something I would like to talk about in this video, and that is, how many critique partners do you need? Finding a critique partner isn't easy by no means, except if you already have writing friends who write similar genres, then you are lucky. You can easily become critique partners. You probably already are critique partners and just don't know that that's what the term is. So if you have writing friends in the same genre, finding critique partners will become easy. But for a lot of writers, it's not easy to find other writers who write similarly, understand things similarly, etc. But if you want to get a critique partner, I think the fair amount to get is 3 critique partners. Now, you might need all of them at once or at different times, but just keep your number to 3. If you only have 1 so far, it's not a bad thing. Really not a bad thing, because they would still be helpful for a lot of the writing process. But you can still look for more, try to get your critique partners up to 3, and these are the reasons I'm going to give you. One reason is different skill sets. Sometimes as a writer, you need different stages of your writing. You need maybe for them to focus on just telling you if your characters suck or not. So a critique partner who is skilled at character development, growth, etc. will be able to help you flesh out all of that, flesh out the personalities and stuff of your characters. Then if it's on world building, you need a critique partner who can do that. Sometimes a critique partner can do more than one thing, obviously, but just in case, it's good to find critique partners that have specific things they are good at. Then there's the editing, the grammatical errors. A critique partner who can catch those big grammatical problems is useful, because some people tend to have skills more set to the technical side than to the creative side. So having critique partners who can handle the different things is good. Another thing is personality. While all critique partners should be honest, there are some critique partners that veer towards only positive feedback, and sometimes you want to harsh through. So having the different ways people can tell you if your work is good or bad will help you really know if you're writing something that makes sense or not. Then another reason why you need more than 1 critique partner is time periods. Like I said, you might not need all critique partners at the same time. And obviously, if your critique partner is a writer, they might not have works to exchange with you at the time when you're ready for a critique partner, or they might be too focused on something else in their lives, whether outside writing or in writing, to have time for you. So you need a critique partner that will be available for you when you need the attention. So getting more than 1 will really help balance that out, instead of you having to wait until the other person is ready and waste all these months doing nothing progressive as a writer. I know for me, finding a critique partner was very hard. Honestly, like, I'm re-looking for critique partners at this point, because my challenge finding a critique partner obviously was I wanted to find someone in the same genre. Finding someone who understands and writes fantasy was very important for me, because if my work is so fantasy focused, it only makes sense for someone who understands the genre or writes in the genre to be my critique partner. Then there was the whole balancing that with being Nigerian. It's easy to find a billion fantasy writers outside Nigeria, but just because they don't understand the Nigerian experience of publishing, they might not give you advice that makes sense for you. They might help you with writing your book, but if you're adding terms that they are not used to in your work, they might not get that. If you're saying that you want to write 80,000 words instead of 100,000 words for publishing, they might not get that. Just different things that make them not a good fit because of location. It's not impossible, it's just a thing to look out for. Then another thing is being Black. It's always a thing if you're finding critique partners outside. It's just, so for a lot of people, it's just more comfortable to find partners who understand their experience, to know why it's harder to get representation here and there and all of that. So the combination of those factors, being black, being Nigerian, being a fantasy writer, made finding a critique partner hard for me inside and outside. But with the growth of my writing process and finding more people, I have found writers who are who understand what I am doing. Therefore, they will make good critique partners. But yes, if you're a writer and you're watching this and you write fantasy and you're looking for a critique partner, you can hit me up on Instagram. I will leave my handle in the description and my email in the description too. So yes, this is an attempt for me to find critique partners too. So that's basically it for my video today. I will be talking more on critique partners in the future. I just wanted to get you to understand the idea of a critique partner and why it's useful, and I hope that this video has done that for you today. So if you've liked this video or it's been educative to you anyways, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe and share this video with as many people as you can. You never know who needs a critique partner or who can be your critique partner. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.